All right.
And we're live.
We are live, Piercy.
Together, we can touch each other. It's real.
Touching, we are together. Together forever.
Na, 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 na.
Who sang that song?
Rick?
Rick Astley.
Red hair.
Rick Astley.
Red hair.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me at Christoph Residence. I've just learnt that I've been drinking Misty's water, which is that water just there, that cup
There.
right there.
Yeah.
I thought it was the guest cup of water, glass of water. So I got out of the shower last night. I'm pretty sure I saw that full, and I think I drank most of it. And Damo's like, Misty must be thirsty.
And
Was it
I'll just explain the reason why we have that there is because when we first moved into this apartment, she didn't drink water from anything. And she just kept on jumping up onto the bench. Like, we've got to give her some water somehow. So she started drinking water from that, and it's always remained that she's drunk out of that. And we drink water, humans drink water out of these ones, and Misty drinks water out of that one. And so does Marcus.
Me too. Me too. Sort
Well,
of part of the family. Now,
yeah,
I must
that is
apologise
hilarious. That's
because
hilarious.
I did say on our Facebook Live last week that we would do our 100 Not Out Together Again episode on Wednesday afternoon.
Yes.
And I railroaded that because we recorded our invitational video for our Byron Bay longevity experience.
We did.
And we also enjoyed some company, some quality time together.
Yeah. We've
Um,
had that, but that was really nice. We've had a really nice time just hanging out, and I made a nice little charcuterie board and all that sort of stuff. That was pretty lovely.
that was good. I reckon we should talk about that on our episode today.
All right.
I reckon we should. Oh, here we go.
There we go,
Let's
Pete.
get started, Pete.
All right.
Yep. All right. So,
Yeah, it is.
are you recording? Because I don't have my
Yeah, this is
laptop or
It's
anything.
recording.
Okay.
Yep.
Ready to rock.
It's recording.
I'm gonna have to say this off the just from memory.
I'll see if I can remember some of it
Let's
too
see. Here we go.
for you as well.
Alrighty. In 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to 100 Not Out, a weekly show helping you to master the art of aging well. Marcus Pearce here with you in the company of the great Dr. Damien Christoph. We are broadcasting live from Christoph HQ in Melbourne, in the flesh together again. Great man, how are you?
You did it. You did it
Got it.
off the cuff. Well
Yeah.
done. Congratulations. 412 episodes down, and you know it.
I'm just beginning to feel like I know it.
8 years in. Well, it is so great to have you here in person, mate. And I can't tell you how good it is. And obviously, everybody watching must have been craving as much as what we've been craving. The need to have us back together again.
Well, the
So
weird thing is we
it
don't
is
actually
good.
record in the flesh
Much,
very often.
not much
You
anymore.
know,
We
once
used to.
every 100 episodes.
Yeah,
Maybe. But yes, we used to do 13 a quarter,
yeah.
4 times a year.
Well, that's right. That's exactly right. So, Marcus used to come to my house. We'd set up some kind of scenario. There was
We have
times
a plant behind us.
we were planned. We
Yep.
had posters, pull-up banners.
Yes.
Once we had a TV and we live streamed
Mitch Album.
Mitch album.
And Mario Martinez.
Yeah.
So Mitch Album wrote
Tuesdays with Maury. Yeah,
Tuesdays with
Thursdays.
Maury.
That was volume 3.
Tuesdays with Maury, and many others.
Yeah.
And Mario Martinez wrote the Mind Body Code. I think he joined us from, I don't know, I think he was in Mexico.
Yeah.
I remember we spoke to Jules Galloway.
Yeah.
On the big TV.
Yeah.
We had Tim Robards.
Yeah.
I remember he was in a sling.
He was in a sling. He'd popped his bicep off his humerus. And I had these shirts, right? Under these shirts, and the person who irons our shirts had rolled the sleeve up just that one little extra thing. And he goes,
And he
noticed that I'd actually rolled my sleeve up because I was trying to make my biceps look bigger. So that was hilarious.
Speaking of which, I've got to actually raise this. Whenever I come to Damo's, it's like when you go to your parents and they always give you something to take home. Whenever I come to Damo's, I leave with my bag just a little bit heavier because he's so generous. He is always giving me stuff. And what I'm finding is that as you get older, you're actually not getting smaller. You're getting bigger because you're growing out of your
getting
shirts.
fatter.
And I think I've inherited half a dozen, maybe a dozen shirts from you over the last couple of years. And I want to commend you, and I also want to ask you, how are you doing this? You're in ripping nick. I'm actually seeing you in Ripping Nick in the flesh. You are mastering the art of aging well, 101. We've had some great conversations the last 24, 48 hours. Like, can you share with the listeners and the viewers just like what is stirring within your soul to make you live such a great life? No, seriously, like,
Thanks,
you're a great
Piercy.
template for doing this.
Well, I think I'm just living our information. So I'm trying to do the things that we would suggest to people to do. So I'm not. I'm not. I don't think I'm doing anything different to what we would be suggesting people could do, or I'm going to should on people should do to live well, to age gracefully. And so, years ago, we think about all the things that I was doing. Running with you, the Wellness Couch, Wellness Guys, 100 Not Out, Forage, speaking, Vita, trying to raise a young man,
which you've done a great job at.
Keep a marriage happy. All these sorts of things. I was trying to do all of
great
that.
Great son, great brother, cousin.
Trying to do all of that stuff, which didn't really leave me a whole lot of time for me. But not that I need a whole lot of time for me, but I wasn't really, prioritizing my health and well-being. So I was kind of just doing what was possible at the time with the constraints that I had. And that probably meant that I wasn't moving as much. I wasn't doing recreation as well. I was eating well, but still on the run. So it was, always under pressure and in a stressful environment. So I wasn't really doing it in calmness.
Okay, so here's a curly one for you, and I'm in book mode, as you know. I got up early this morning and did some book work.
Can you see that Peter's commenting? And this is where we'll see.
Oh, these are the comments, Damo. Can you show MP how to read comments?
Yeah, there we go. So we got Pete there, and then we got Wilma. Wilma's here with us watching, Wilma. And over from in the US. So that's where Wilma is, and Pete's here as well. So
I love it.
There you go.
So I've been rewriting a section on the story of Rosetto. So Rosetto, for listeners and viewers that haven't heard of Rosetto, really became popular when Malcolm Gladwell wrote his book Outliers. But think of this, in 1900, no one really knew about heart disease. It was a very uncommon cause of death. Mm-hmm. And 50 odd years later, it was the number one cause of death in America. We are going through a pandemic, and this was the epidemic of the 20th century. I'll put pandemic in quotation marks.
Yeah, well done.
So the heart disease epidemic was huge. But this little town of Rosetto in Pennsylvania, population 1,600, had 3.5 times less heart disease than anywhere else in the country. And one of the local doctors tells a researcher, no one in Rosetto is dying of heart attacks, and I have no idea why. And they come in, and it's like, well, they eat shit. They hardly exercise. They're obese. A lot of them have got diabetes. A lot of them have high blood pressure. They've got all the risk factors for heart disease, but they're not dying. Mm-hmm. And they come in, and no peptic ulcers. No peptic ulcers.
That was a big thing at one point, wasn't it? Peptic ulcers.
Yeah, well, particularly, the reason why I say this is because you were talking just earlier about your former life, which had a lot of, striving's not the right word, but it was like overcommitted, and the pace of it was fast, and it was almost like peptic ulcer. It was just like, like,
if you want to know how to make a peptic ulcer, just do what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And no suicide, no drugs, no alcoholism, no depression, anxiety issues, just a lot of things that we see in Ikaria, like that type of cleanliness. And what they found is that these people lived a really social, harmonious family, community life. But the other thing which I think you raised, which I think is really important for people to recognise, the amount of time that they give to themselves to really do what they love to do. Mm-hmm. And I cannot emphasize that enough, because this morning you said over breakfast, you're like, hey, I spend 20 hours a week playing golf. Like, that's giving to myself. And the things that you used to spend that time on, Forage, Wellness Couch, Wellness Guys.
Sitting on planes.
Yeah. Yes, to an element it feels like you're giving to yourself, but not really. Like, now it feels like you really, like you said, you're applying the information.
Yeah, I really am. But someone said to me at some point, it's like you're listening to your own advice.
Yeah.
That's what it is. In fact, it might have been me that said that to myself yesterday. Anyway, this is a bit of Alzheimer's kicking in. But so that's right. So I had the conversation with my mum, and she said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm in the car." She goes, "You coming back from golf?" And I said, "I am." She goes, "Gee, you live the life." And I said, "Well, yeah, I kind of do, because I love my job, love my family, love everything I do. I'm enjoying a sport that I love. I eat really well. I live in a great place. Everything's
No, your
good."
neighbours were in the lift this morning. You're like,
Yeah.
morning, Bev. Oh,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
But that's a community that I love, and so life is really good. But I've always been about the community, and we spoke about friends of ours who perhaps don't focus as much on the community aspect of where it is that they're at. But then you spoke about yesterday. You spoke about our three places. So house, the backyard, the space around your house, and your community, and in that order. I really have always loved community, like you. Always worked on community. So to have community, but also then to find recreation in that time in that community, and then also love the house and all that sort of stuff. It just feels like things are coming together.
Mm.
But that's not. I'm not saying that to have a brag or a humble brag or anything. I'm just saying that this is possibly what you're seeing. How my body is holding up at the moment is because I'm trying to avoid stress, and I'm trying to do things that encourage a longevity improvement, almost like a biohack.
Yes, and this is actually the theme of the conversation this morning. And welcome to Margaret Martin, who is
Margaret,
live on Facebook.
Nice,
I love it. Is it
love Margaret? I'll see you today, Mark.
Applying the information that we know is a lot harder than a lot of people give it credit for, because it's almost along the lines of, well, if it was easy, we would have applied a lot of it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So a part of me goes, well, is it a phase of life thing where you go, I've had enough of learning but not actually applying, and again, I was saying that you and I are 7 or 8 years apart in age, and I often look at the phases of life that you're going into going, well, I'm not in that same phase, but then I can feel myself going into, different phases. So is it that sometimes we're just not ready to apply what we learn, but we store it, like we park it, and then we reach a juncture in our life and we're like, that lesson, it's time to apply that lesson right now?
Oh, I don't know if it's that process driven. I don't know whether or not it's that orderly.
Not consciously.
Yeah, but I think that over time, what ends up happening is that things fall into place. And when you and I go to Greece, we go to Ikaria, or when we eventually get to Sardinia, or when we get to Okinawa.
2078, I think, when they resume international travel. I'll be 97.
Right. 2078. I'll be 105. Yeah.
That'll be a longevity experience for the ages.
Yeah, that'd be right. Hopefully I'm still playing golf then.
That's what you think. I love it. I hope I'm still playing golf.
That's right. And I hope Jackson's around. And I hope Amber's around.
There we go.
Sorry, Uncle Rock, I can't talk to you right now. When we go there, we think about and we talk about all the things that we can do when we come back to Australia to help us with longevity. And it feels like over time, eventually, you make space for those things over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so suppose I see that the memories of any experience in life, the space for those things comes up where you go, I'm willing to give it the space. So when you talk about Ikaria, I remember we'd come back and we'd very easily go back into a fast pace of life. But either it's the more we go there or the older we get, there's elements of life that we actually consciously decide to slow down. Now, I think you've done, I don't want to say a better job of it. I would just say we're in different phases of life where you're more determined to slow down life. Whereas I feel like my life, again, 4 young kids, still 4 young kids. It's just a very fast-paced life.
Yeah,
So it's not that the lesson hasn't been learned or not applied, but there are certain phases in life where you get to where you go, I'm going to make this a priority. Like you're not going to try and be busy every day and fill the space with things just to go, the humble brag, as you say, I'm so busy. You're actually like, you know what? I'm really not busy, but I've created a life consciously. When someone says, oh, you're living your life, well, I've busted my butt to create this life that isn't busy, that has some different levels of pace and is not always go, go, go. Because we're live,
Mm-hmm.
I need to go blow my nose. Can you just pat and talk for a minute?
There's tissues just in that drawer.
Yeah, but I can't mute the mic. So
oh, yeah. All right. Yes, yes. Can you believe that? Is that hilarious? I'll say hi to Ravi because you said, how do you make it look like you're in the same room? So clever. Ecamm's incredible. The technology these days, Ravs, it's next level. I think what Marcus brings up there is a really important point that you do need to create the time. You need to create the space that enables you to be able to do those things that we've spoken about. So yes, that means that I had to drop off some business ventures, but I had to work out what it was that was making me feel nourished. So was it just the caprese salad, or is it the practice that is being created at Vita in the community that I love, which I think that's got a lot to do with it. But that doesn't mean that I don't miss certain things. So like I love traveling to go and see Ravi in Manly, and then go and do a presentation for Ravs, Power of Food or Crack Your Stress Code or Gut First or whatever it is that I'm doing, or we go and do some stuff with Wardy, raising some money for mental health, men's mental health, those sorts of things. Like I love doing all that sort of stuff, but at the same time, what I'm really enjoying is not having to do that hustle and bustle and the race. And,
yes.
And that's been a really great thing. And I think it sounds strange, but I'm almost grateful for the pause that was created in my life as a result of COVID. That's enabled me to kind of think about what it is that I really want to have in my life, as opposed to continue to push on through to do all these things because I could, and then bit by bit things would fall off as it didn't work. Now I've been able to say, okay, what do I really want to do and what do I not want to do, and then I can just do that.
And that is what I would love everyone watching and listening to consider is because this is the hard decision. What are you prepared to actually cut the cord on? Like for you, cutting the cord on forage was not an easy decision.
Nah, so hard.
And it's a decision that you have to sit with. So you make big decisions slowly and small decisions quickly. I think the bigger decisions, you have to let it sit. It's a breakup. But the other ones, and also I'm sure you went through similar things with when you left the wellness couch and even just ending the wellness guys. These are all decisions that whenever we have something that's significant, and for everyone watching and listening, is like, if you're feeling overbaked, if you're feeling overcommitted, if you're feeling like you're rush, and a lot of people love the pause of COVID, but they've gone back onto the treadmill of life at a faster pace than ever.
Yes.
And they would say that they don't know how to get off. They needed a pandemic and a lockdown to actually go, well, it's illegal to hop on the treadmill, so to speak. But once people can go back on, it's like, well, what have we learnt the lesson? Have we given it the time?
Well, it's great timing that you would say that, because at the same, like literally within seconds of each other, Julie Hill said, "I'm grateful for the COVID pause too," right? Which is unreal. And then Ravs has said, "Do you sometimes feel the urge to do all those things again, Damo?" And I do sometimes feel the urge to do it all again, but then I just kind of think, okay, hang on a second. How was I feeling at the time, and what was that doing to me, and what was that doing for me? And so to balance that up, you've got to work out what made you feel good. So what was it doing to me? Was it tickling me? Was it making me laugh? Was it making me feel good? Was that great? Or was it caning me? Was it making me feel fatigued? Was I getting agitated? Was I growing a peptic ulcer? You know what I mean? So what was happening there? What was it doing for me? Was it helping me grow? Was it helping me learn? Was it helping me be more patient? Was it helping me be more kind? Was it helping me be more compassionate? All of these sorts of things that I feel like in a sense, yogic in a way of living.
It's very Bhagavad Gita of you, but it's good.
Yeah, but
it's good.
Which is it's a nice way to be.
Yeah.
It feels nice in my body to be that way. Was it help me do that, or was it actually help me do the reverse? So I think about that, Ravs, and I would love to get traveling again to go and do these presentations, but not at the pace that I was doing it. When I reflect on 2019, and I did 40 odd flights, traveling to do presentations around Australia and et cetera. And then I looked at 2020 and I did maybe 2 flights or 3 flights for the whole of the year. and how good I actually feel from not flying is unbelievable.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I think Ravs, I would love to do the talks again. I'm definitely not going to start another muesli company. I can tell you that right now. That's a promise. And I'll probably continue to do the things that I love, which I'm doing right now. And 100 not out.
We'll do 100 not out to 2081.
Yeah,
I'll be 100. You'll be 107. All right.
We'll definitely be not out. Sorry, Trudy. You can't.
Damo's had to bump a few calls during this live.
Just because you want to call me doesn't mean I'm going to answer. Sorry about that, TP.
Yes. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something before I got distracted by the calls.
Pete needed COVID too. See that?
Yep. There's a number that. So I'm down here in Melbourne for a week.
Yes.
And with a number of things. And when you were talking about your 40-odd flights, I feel like the new version of living for a number of people would be if your 40-odd flights was like you'd finish a shift at Vita, you'd drive to the airport, you'd go and do a talk that night, you'd fly home the next morning in time for your afternoon shift the next day.
Yeah.
So that pace is not sustainable. And like you said, we become agitated when we're so caught by the clock. And one trip it's like the domino falls over and just everything rolls out of place. I feel like, in this week-long trip, there's 2 days of recording an audiobook, there's 3 days of running an event, and then there's 2 days of seeing family. In the case of you and speaking, I feel like you would actually just take 4 or 5 days off work, go and do 4 or 5 talks, or do it all in one compressed flight type thing. I feel like that'll be a new mode of travel where people might go for longer, get more done in that one time, rather than the quick up and back. I don't know this, but I just wonder if that's where the pace of business, the people that were traveling every week to go to a meeting for, 1 hour or 2 hours and then coming back again and flying a week later, I wonder if that pace is going to shift.
I think there's still some situations for pace. I definitely won't take time off from work to go and do presentations. That definitely won't be the case. And when I say take time off from work, I won't take time off from Vita. So, Vita for me has become my number one priority outside of my family, which I think is really important for us to, kind of just understand.
That's actually been so impressive, because in the old days when I first met you, you had a number of associates because you were traveling so much.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that it was difficult on you and your practice members because you weren't there all the time.
Yeah.
But because you are traveling so much less, I'm sure you and your practice members are loving the consistency and the rhythm. Yeah. When there's not lockdowns and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I know.
You're there so much more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think there's not necessarily an intention, because the intention's always been there, but that present time consciousness, PTC, just to be there, I think is really, really important. So that won't change. So I won't be taking time off from Vita to go and do presentations, and I'll still have that urgency of pace, but I won't be doing it week in, week out. So maybe I'll do 6 to 10 presentations a year instead of 26 presentations a year.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I'll be a bit more selective with them. I'll go, this is the one that I want to do, as opposed to, I'll say yes to all of them,
That's probably the shift, isn't it? It's quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the quantity of commitments that we have made in our lives that gets us overwhelmed. Yeah. But if we make just a number of, I think I was saying this to you at breakfast, I just love that you've got your love for Vita, your love for your family, your love for golf. You've got some really strong pillars. You don't have, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, where it feels overcommitted and at times overly stressful.
Yeah.
That there's wisdom in choosing less, and what is it like going deep and narrow rather than shallow and wide.
Yeah.
I think that's
a more firmly rooted.
Oh, mate, that's wisdom.
Yes.
That's wisdom.
Which I like. But that doesn't mean that at some points in my life I wasn't trying to do a million things, but I've never had 4 children, so I don't know what that feels like.
Oh, well, we all have that, but we all have different experiences, don't we?
Yeah.
It's the same thing if I think of that, like with bricks and mortar businesses. It's like I've had it, but it's like I'm so glad I don't have it, but you have it.
Yeah.
And the challenges and stresses that come along with that. So
yeah.
We've all got our shifts. This has been quite a profound conversation this morning.
It's amazing, when we're in person, what we can do, what we can talk about. Absolutely amazing. And great to see so many people watching and joining in on Facebook unannounced. Like normally it's a Wednesday. Hillary's there. How good's that? I know.
One of our inaugural Ikaria attendees.
Yeah, her and her sons. Unbelievable.
What, so good.
What great memories that was.
Yeah.
Hillary, last night we had a bottle of wine from Affiani's winery.
Some Focciano.
Had a Focciano. It was amazing. Anyway, and we paid homage to all of the people that have come with us to Ikaria. But it was delicious, wasn't it?
I'll have to post that video.
Amazing.
I'll post it on the 100 Night Out page.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so good.
Vicky got us too, which is great. Tracked you down live. Happy Thursday. Maybe in the future you'll do Facebook Lives whenever you feel like it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
maybe. Although it's probably not too good for making sure that you all get to join us, but maybe that will happen. I don't think so. We'll probably keep on doing it on a Wednesday. It's just that, things were different this week.
Yeah. Well, it's been a joy to be at the Christoph residence.
Been great to have you, Piercy.
And to do it what is it?
The flesh.
In the flesh, Facebook Live with our beautiful 100 Not Out community.
Yeah.
To find out more about the great man, go to DamienChristoph.com, myself, MarcusPearce.com.au. We are approaching 8 years of 100 Not Out. We will soon be releasing all the information for our Byron Bay longevity experience that is coming up May 16 to 22. It's highly likely you are hearing that for the first time because we just recorded the video for it last night. But that is happening. All the details will be coming out in the next week or two. Thanks again for your company. And until next time, as always, continue to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Bye for now. I love that little bit of cheese. I'm sure, tell us, do you love that bit of cheese? I would love, actually, if anyone's got some suggestions on how we should celebrate our 8th birthday.
Yes.
That'd be quite good. So for, the whole crew that's there, thank you for watching. But maybe in the comment section, just let us know how you think we could celebrate, Obviously, there'll be balloons, no doubt about it.
416 of them. No, 8 of them.
Might just be a 416, you know what I mean? So that might be there.
Yep.
That'd be good.
Cake.
Could do cake.
Yeah. Parcel.
We could do the apple dunking.
Yeah.
We could do like fairy bread triangles, tied on rope, and you have to bite and eat it.
You know what we do at Pierce family birthdays these days? No. It's a game where you get a block of chocolate. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, yes, and you got to cut off.
Knife and fork.
Yeah.
And the person that eats the most chocolate.
Yeah.
I was going to say we could have a wine drinking competition, but that might not be.
That'd be messy. Hillary
limoncello, that's a spirit. That's what I was thinking.
I've got limoncello. I've got it in the freezer. We could have had that last night.
Yeah, no, dangerous.
That'd be good.
No, I think we enjoyed ourselves enough yesterday.
We did.
That was great.
Yeah, we did. A Zoom with as many past guests as possible.
Oh,
that's a nice
wow.
idea. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Logistical challenge, but absolutely. Throw it out there.
Yeah, we could pull that off. We could pull that off.
Yeah, sure. As many as possible. When you say as many as possible, I mean there's hundreds. Yeah, we could get some.
That'd be amazing.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
just an email and a Zoom link.
4 or 6. 20. Same time zone makes it really easy.
20.
Australian only.
Well, it could be difficult.
Heather Lee in Sydney, Dan Smith.
Some of the oldies, like the really old ones.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Dexter Kruger, Australia's oldest man.
Yeah, but he's not on Zoom.
Dexter, he's everywhere. Yeah, he's up. His whole thing is he's up to speed with technology.
Really?
Yep.
Didn't we first speak to him as on the telephone?
Yeah, but now he's in a nursing home in
he's got the whole
Roma, and he's all over it.
Okay.
He's got it sorted.
That's a great suggestion, Vicky, and a great suggestion, Hillary. Yeah.
All right.
I love both of those suggestions so far.
Limoncello?
Yeah.
And a Zoom with as many past guests as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, good mix.
Thanks.
Good mix.
Thanks for your collaboration. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, might need a few hours.
Yeah,
yeah, we would actually.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because we couldn't just give them all a couple of minutes. We'd have to weave it. Could be a bit awkward.
Could be awkward.
But nothing like a bit of awkward Facebook Live.
I know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So great.
All
so
right.
great. Thanks. We'll sign off here.
I know you've got a meeting to get to. I'm off to visit my mum.
Yeah. And next Wednesday we will be back.
Yep. In the afternoon.
In the afternoon in 2 different locations.
That's it.
Yeah. We'll see.
I fly back. Oh, shivers. I don't think I land until 2:30. Might be awkward. Anyway, we'll find out. I'll let you know.
Watch this space. All right, everybody. Take great care.
See you, folks.
Catch
Have a good one.